According to Karl Marx, the socialist revolution was right around the corner, as the lives of the workers would clearly get worse and worse and worse, until, with nothing left to lose, nothing left to live for, utterly miserable, revolution would explode the old bourgeois world. And yet, it did not. Why is that? Why was that? Did new forms of transport, affordable by the working classes due to industrialization and the lowering of costs and prices, have anything to do with this? These and other questions will be answered right after this. I'm Professor Jerome Markenberg, and I've been teaching a wide variety of history courses at colleges across this country for the past 30 years. In this video, I'm going to tell you about the development of the automobile, the appearance of paved roads, lane markers, traffic signs and signals, historical markers, gas stations, motels, and parking lots, and, sadly, parking meters. The development of the first airplanes, and the development of passenger air service. At the end, I'll have the wrap-up quote on this video. But first, make sure to click like, share, and especially subscribe, and that little bell thingy, so I can continue to bring you more great videos just like this one. The automobile was developed by Gottlieb Daimler, shown here, in Germany in 1885, who sold his first car in 1892. And here you see also some of the other early pioneers, Carl Benz, Ransom Olds, and Horace Dodge, and some of the very earliest cars. But it was Henry Ford who developed the first high-quality, mass-produced car with interchangeable parts via techniques borrowed from bicycle manufacturers, the assembly line, which drastically lowered prices, allowing affordable cars to all for the first time. Ford's Model T came out in 1908, selling for $825, an enormous sum for that time, and though it only generated 20 horsepower, 6,000 cars were sold that year. And as the assembly line caused production to drop from 12 hours to 2 hours, prices dropped to $360 by 1916, with 577,000 sold that year alone. And not only could workers could afford new cars, remember, there were also many used cars also available at lesser prices. As a result, by 1920, there was one car for every 13 Americans, rising to one car for every 5 Americans by 1930, which led to pressures to widen city streets and replace first dirt city streets with brick or cobblestone, then asphalt and concrete, build limited access highways, and pave rural dirt roads. And here in these pictures you see here of Chicago, Illinois, early times, note the streets. They are not of brick or cobblestone or concrete or asphalt. They are dirt streets in this, the second largest city in the entire country. And also, for the very first time, lane markers, those double yellow and white lines, traffic signals and signs, one-way and two-way roads, parking spaces and parking lots, and parking meters. And remember, there were none of these before the appearance of the car. And the pictures you see here of all the very first ones. Also, whole new industries and firms dedicated to building and distributing all the parts needed to build these cars and trucks and keep them running and selling them. So auto and parts dealerships, gas stations and mechanics, towing services, as well as all those associated with car travel, especially in the countryside, such as motels, roadside diners, fast food places, tourism and sites of interest, and unfortunately speed traps, and a whole new way of looking and seeing the world, including one's own country. You see here, this is reportedly, in San Luis Obispo, the very first motel. From 1900 to 1902, Orville and Wilbur Wright, shown here, built a series of gliders in Dayton, Ohio, then designed and built a low-powered internal combustion engine and wind tunnel designed wooden propellers for it, and on December 17th, 1903, shown here, made the first sustained, controlled, powered, heavier-than-air manned flight at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. The First World War drove airplane technology forward at lightning speed, with giant bombers converted into passenger planes at the end of the war. KLM and Qantas, the first airlines still in business, started in 1920. In America, in 1918, the post office began the first airmail flights from the east to the west coast, granting contracts to spur routes to independents who evolved into major passenger airlines. For example, Pan Am, Delta, Braniff, American, United, TWA, Northwest, and Eastern. In 1925, Juan Trippe, through the flying boats of his Pan American World Airways, began service to Shanghai, London, and Rio de Janeiro. That same year, the Ford Tri-Motor, capable of carrying 12 passengers, made passenger service competitive, and the introduction of the Douglas DC-3, the Armstrong Whitley, and the Junkers Ju-52 in the 1930s caused passenger service to take off. The early days of air travel. Here are stewardesses. The pilot would come out to meet you, especially talk to the children, and oh my goodness, have you ever had meals like this on an airplane when you were not in first class? Again, you see it here. Look at the luxury of travel in these eras. The wrap-up quote. We are now seeing that the railway is no longer needed as a means of locomotion, for the roaring meteor known as the automobile is taking its place. How long this will last is a matter for conjecture. Already great white-winged birds are fluttering in the skies. In the meantime, however, the hotel industry has slowly, very slowly, begun to awake from its long sleep. Great palaces are rising in place of the ugly, ill-conditioned hostelries of old. Even the village inn, modestly standing at the crossroads on highways long rendered useless by the railway, is now resuscitated by the same imperious necessity that brought into being the automobile. Humbert de Gallier, 1905. Let me know what you think of this quote in the comment section below. Also, what you liked about this video, and what other historical topics or subjects you'd like to see in future videos. Be sure to click like, share, and especially subscribe, as it will help me bring you more great videos just like this one. And click on that little bell thingy so you'll know when the next History Waits for No One video is posted. If you want to know more, there are recommended studies on this topic in the description below, along with other ways to connect with me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the past.